Well, whoever has bought a contract from us, that person should come out. It's a contract for sale. Yes, so the person who has bought a contract should come and tell us that I bought a contract from TDL. We haven't sold any contract. Let him show a signed contract that TDL has entered into an agreement with his company. Let him show it.
He said he paid 5,000 cedis.
It doesn't matter where he paid money to. He can go ahead and pay money to people on his way. Has he paid money to TDL, or because he's seen a receipt issued by somebody in the name of TDL, so he has an evidence to show that he has paid money to TDL? TDL is a company, that's a chief executive. We have management there. So who did he pay the money to?
He's not ordinary somebody. He's a general manager.
He paid money. He went to the company, paid money to a manager of the company. He paid money to a boy who is working there in the absence of the CEO. And by that, he can come. For instance, you can come to my office or Bominter & Co. and come and have a deal with my clerk and bind me with a deal. You're not serious.
So why are you here? My question is that if you are saying virtually there's no case, why are you here at the Special Prosecutor's Office?
Yes, you have to respect the laws. If you are invited, you must come.
So there's a reason why he's been invited?
Of course.
So what happened today?
Yes.
We have been here. They have interrogated. They have found out we don't have any contract for sale. Who has bought a contract? Who has bought a contract?
Counsel, are you suggesting that general managers don't represent
You
companies?
must be shocked because there's no contract for sale.
So in essence, you are discrediting.
There is no contract for sale. If you have bought a contract, bring it out. That I bought a contract from TDL. This is the amount. Who has bought a contract? Bring it out.
So what happened in the
This is what all Ghanaians we should have asked.
When you met the investigators, what transpired?
They have interrogated whether or not we have sold any contract. We have not sold any contract. B Molly, we don't even know them. We don't know them. They don't know us.
So
you see, you are shocked. There is nothing there.
What has your client been telling?
This is another fabrication in this country. It is because it is. That is an interview that they change it. That's nothing.
What do you mean by they change it?
You can ask B Molly and find out whether they know TDL. Find out. Don't even ask me. You won't believe it. So find out from B Molly whether they know TDL.
It's a conflict of interest situation, sir. That is what has been.
Where is the conflict of interest? Where is it?
That your client sits at the procurement authority as a boss, but also has a company which goes through the PPA, which has to give it clearance. How do you justify these two or reconcile these two?
You have a company that is dealing in procurement, that is supplying goods, that is registering or doing business in the country. He's a shareholder. He has resigned. It is on record.
When did he resign?
It is there on the record.
When did
Find out from the record. The one who publishes should bring it out to Ghanaians, including myself, because I also read it and I condemn an innocent person. I read it. I heard it like the way you are going to hear it. I believe him until I had a brief. And I was shocked, and I've been shocked till now that we only discredit people. I'm even afraid of myself. I don't even know what you're going to say.
Counsel, does your client regret any action he took?
He regrets the way you have tarnished his image.
Meanwhile, the suspended Public Procurement Authority boss, Ejini Mboateng, has expressed concern over what he describes as a public crucifixion over no wrongdoing. Speaking to the media after he was granted a self-recognizance bail, the PPA boss intimated that the words being muttered by the public over the allegations are untrue.
The public is simply speaking words of untruth.
Do you regret anything you have done in office?
I regret the way I'm being crucified for doing nothing.
You're still watching Newsroom on GHOne Television. We just played you a sound bite of the lawyer for the embattled Chief Executive Officer of the Public Procurement Authority and the embattled Chief Executive Officer himself, ABAJ. Let's have a conversation on this. And joining me over the phone is co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Adam Senanu, for what he makes of what the lawyer said. Adam, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon, actually.
Good afternoon to you.
So I'm sure that you may have heard what Augustine Obuor has been saying after they met the special prosecutor. He says that his clients did absolutely nothing and we're crucifying him for doing nothing. How do you react to that?
I would say they should not insult the sensibilities of Ghanaians. These are red herrings, and the kind of bravado with which they're coming out, I don't know whether it's a kind of reverse psychology or what they think they're doing, but we are not going to buy this. Anyone who watched or listened to the documentary saw the very simple questions Manasseh put to him about his membership of this company in terms of is he a director, is he a owner, and how he progressively moved from virtually saying that it is not my company to discovering that, look, on paper, he is the majority holder. And if in truth he had resigned, why was he given that kind of information? I think that the media, together with civil society, we should keep our focus on the documentary and its content and not allow these sound bites where they haven't found anything, we haven't done anything, to begin to sully the airwaves and make us think that this is the actual fact of the situation.
Adam, is that to say that the documentary by Manasseh Azure, no matter how it looks, is conclusive enough for you?
It is not the issue of whether it is conclusive. I am saying that for those of us who understand conflict of interest situation, we know what is a conflict of interest situation. The best practice in conflict of interest is that anything that you are associated with, you make sure that there is nothing to, and indeed, it is one of the reasons why we are saying that the Public Officers Code of Conduct Bill should quickly be passed, because it's an excellent piece of legislation. What it does suggest is that, look, make sure that anything you are associated with does not become a subject of your organization or of your influence of any kind, because even the mere suggestion that there could have been potential conflict of interest, that is the standard. The standard is even potential conflict of interest. So I'm not quite sure that they understand what they are talking about when we say conflict of interest. It's not just the actual situation of conflict of interest, but potential conflict of interest ought not even to be suggested. And that is the case. If we want to be above board and to set the kind of standards that have moved democracies forward, we've got to be serious. And nobody can tell me that there isn't a clear issue of potential conflict of interest. Plus, all this issue of he informed the board and recused himself, and that was done on one occasion when we have 14 such instances. All of these things tell us that something has gone wrong. Plus, they are talking about a 3-month-old company. My goodness, 3-month-old.
Adam, I mean, having campaigned for corruption for all these years, how easy do you think it will be to find a case against Mr. Ejenim Boateng?
Well, I am glad that we have 3 different entities looking into this matter. We have the public procurement, we have the Auditor General thinks he's going to look at the procurement processes themselves, because that I find very interesting. What capacity or experience do they put as the experience of a 3-month-old entity to win anything in the first place? I think that is going to be very interesting. I am quite sure we'll find something there. Then we have the tribe looking at the conflict of interest part. And conflict of interest is a very technical issue. Sometimes people talk about it. It's like the last time we were worried about the head of the Maritime Authority and the situations he went through. It was clear to us that many people they haven't really gone through the understanding that provides a clear indication of what is conflict of interest, what is potential, and how you must avoid it. It's a technical issue. Stride is handling that. We'll see how that comes out. And then we have the Special Prosecutor's Office just looking at the general thing of all the substantive things that went on, and if anyone influenced it, if anyone indeed sold off or attempted to sell off. And the documentary by Manessa shows at least an attempt to offer. These are substantive issues with evidence already in the public space. So we are all waiting to see what the reports will say. I think that it is really not in good taste when somebody wants to try and suggest that the evidence is nothing, you know. I would have gone wrong with more like, let's wait and see what the outcome of the investigations will be. But when people begin to come out and for nothing and the public, why?
But Adam, would you agree, lastly before I let you go, would you agree that the burden of proof lies squarely with those making the allegations, and maybe, just maybe, enough evidence hasn't been provided?
Well, I don't know about the maybe. I am saying that if somebody chooses at this stage to say that he's being crucified for nothing, that is not my understanding based on what I've already seen. As somebody who understands what conflict of interest is and what it takes to protect the public purse, the evidence already suggests that there has been more than potential conflict of interest. So let's not jump the gun and say that people are crucifying me for nothing. And I'm trying to say that we are together trying to raise this bar in relation to conflict of interest so that other public sector officers know that it's a very high standard. There should not even be a whiff. So you should understand that keep your arm far away. Even to the extent that even if it requires saying that companies I have been associated with don't bring anything here because I am now the chief executive, that is what should have happened. And I don't think that people understand the standard that is required for such positions to deal with conflict of interest.
Okay, so Adam, unfortunately we have to go.
And water down the standard.
Unfortunately, we have to go, but this is a conversation definitely that we will expand and have with you. Hello, Adam. We lost him. Adam Sananu is the co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. You're still watching GHOne on GHOne TV. Let's bring you business news now. And the Ghana Gas Car Powership Pipeline project is almost complete, and it is anticipated to flow its first gas by October this year. Corporate Communications Manager for the Ghana Gas Company Limited, Ernest Owusu-Bempah, says work done so far on the 11-kilometer gas pipeline from the Takoradi regulatory and metering station at Abuaze to the 470 megawatt